Hello everybody, how's it going? What's good? What's happening? How you been? I'm Ethan Hall, a realtor and local guide here in Columbus, Georgia. In this video, we are going to be taking a walk down the Uptown portion of Columbus, as well as the Chattahoochee Riverwalk and a little bit of the surrounding area, as you will see. It's going to be a pretty long video, but a thorough one at that, so we'll just go ahead and get started right here. You'll see right in front of you a mother and her children reading a book together in the city, and especially in the Uptown portion of the city, you will see a bunch of statues and sculptures, paintings, and things like that. Lots of artwork, mainly done by the Columbus State University teachers and students, staff, and things like that. Is mainly the constructors and artists that have made everything over here in this portion of the city, and it is a lot of it, and a lot of it is super impressive. Other ones not so much, but I think the overarching design is pretty good. And right here we have the Rocket Fizz Soda Pop and Candy Shop, one of my favorite places to go get candy in the city. Probably the best candy shop, I would say, by size and volume inside of the city, especially if you have a sweet tooth, children, anything like that. Definitely good to go check it out in there. And right there, all those red cubes are places to go sit whenever there's outside concerts. Kilwin sells the best candied apples I've ever had. There's one up in the Midtown portion of Columbus as well, which you can go take a look at. Definitely go suggest it. And there is a big cast iron fountain, was built back in the 1800s. There is a lot of fountains in Uptown Columbus. Columbus is actually called Fountain City by some people. Not really a whole lot of fountains anywhere else in the city, just kind of in this Uptown area, so doesn't really live up to the name in my opinion, but people do call it that. But we are just taking a walk down, taking a look at everything, all the little shops. As you'll see, most of the stores, if not all of them, I think there might be maybe 3 or 4 storefronts that don't have anything in them, or look kind of run down, don't have any businesses, got some windows boarded up, but not a lot. As I said, maybe 3 or 4 of them. You'll see them in this video. So very healthy commercial environment up here, as well as recreational environment as well. Lots of successful small-time business owners. And we'll see a couple of those places, and I'll mention them as we walk by them. But here we have some more, not artwork, but really big pictures, so I guess you can call it artwork. Big pictures of the city of Columbus, or Uptown Columbus. Overhead pictures, look really beautiful. They have them behind the glass for everybody to see walking by. And this is a questionable sculpture. Not really too sure about the design choice or exactly what was going on with that artist. But it is there. I guess it doesn't look terrible. And here we are hopping over to the other side of the street. In front of you, you will see Very Best Donuts. Not the best donut place in Columbus. That might be debatable for some people, but to me, it is Golden Donut, Very Best Donuts. I'm sorry, you do have good donuts. I've eaten there before. I haven't just not ate there at all, so I have tried it, but Golden Donuts, I don't know, just something else, something about them. Just love them. And right down here, just a lot of, well, we'll get into it, I think, here in just a second. There's some restaurants. There's also a lot of student housing from Columbus State University students down here. Also some affiliated campuses, not a part, or they are a part of the main school, but they are, every school has their campuses that are off the main campus, and so there's a couple of them over here that the students go to. So there is a lot and a big student presence down here. As you can see, everything in the city down here looks well maintained. Nothing seems overgrown. There's no trash sitting everywhere. Everything looks put together, relatively new. And this is where we start getting to where the bars are at. So we have about 3 or 4 bars kind of like back to back to back to back right here. But they look very beautiful from the outside. Lots of artwork, the hummingbird, the flowers. Really love the color of this wood with the black that they have going on right here. And there's the Hooch. It's another bar. But yeah, all kinds of bars. That's kind of the little bar area. I think there might be one more sitting up here, right next to all these other ones, or it might be a little bit farther down. I don't usually go drinking downtown. I'm not a really big drinker, so I do not go to a lot of bars. Maybe went a couple of times. They do have a bookstore next to the bar, though, if you want to try your hand at reading afterwards. I have been in this store right here, Hobbytown, quite a bit. They have anything that you could want if you're really big into like crafts, or you really nerd out on like some cars and action figures and things like that. Definitely a place to go stop in. There's another big fountain sitting right there. As I said, Fountain City. And this uptown portion of Columbus, to kind of dive into some history a little bit. So Columbus was founded in 1828, and it was founded right on the Chattahoochee River, due to its potential in commerce and things like that. And that's why textile mills and the Eagle and Phoenix mills were created, and that created a big help and establish for Columbus back then. And also, during the Civil War, this place was also used to create a bunch of ammunitions, firearms, and things like that during the time of need that they did have down here. But this is like the inception of Columbus. This is where it all started, which is why there is so much history sitting right here in just a couple of blocks. But they have done a really good job in revitalizing this area up here. It did not used to be like anything at all. Like, it was, people did not like coming down here. It didn't look great. It was, quite frankly, pretty awful, I would think most people would say. This is one of my favorite statues, a phoenix, which is, actually cool, other than the, it's not a square and a triangle put together. So phoenix is cool. Squares and triangles, not so much. But Uptown Columbus used to be nowhere near what it is right now. That is the Rivertown Center Performing Arts. And from CSU. And this is another one of those statues I was talking about, dedicated to children and the healthcare workers that take care of them. You'll see all the blue signs hanging up on these poles, Uptown Inc. So Uptown Inc. is an organization that has had a huge help in bringing Uptown Columbus into what it is right now. They are the ones responsible for really not the entire revitalization, of the downtown or the uptown area of the city, but they keep it clean, they keep everything in order, things like that. So they do a really great job and a good service to the community to make sure that this place stays looking good and improves. And I think it will do nothing but improve, as I've said earlier about shops and things like that. There's just this one up here that's really boarded up. I think it's actually maybe 2 in a row right here that you're about to see that are pretty boarded up. I was tempted to go inside of that door, but decided not to be that guy with the camera. But I'm really curious to know exactly what's going on in there. But as you can see, that one store all boarded up does not look nice. Hopefully they can get that fixed or figure out what's going on in there. And this is another statue. Saturday morning distraction, or Saturday distraction, I'm sorry. Kid reading a book instead of playing with his dog. And this is another bar over here where they completely removed like this front portion of the building called the Tap, so it looks super cool. I definitely love the if you really like industrial atmospheres and things like that, then Columbus is definitely going to be a top pick for you to at least go take a look. But there's a lot of good places to eat down here. We have some, I guess you could call it, high-end, a little bit restaurants. But I enjoy Hula Hands. There's an Epic restaurant over here too. Ma Bella's is a good place as well. Mixed Market is pretty good. I've been there a couple times too. And right here, not the jewelry and gifts, but this overarching building, this huge building, one of my favorite buildings in Uptown Columbus, as well as home to the Iron Bank, which is a local coffee shop. They've seen huge success. It is a huge favorite of the city of Columbus. I love going in there. Coffee's great. Sit down and chill. Drink you some coffee, eat a pastry. But absolutely beautiful building. Columbus has a lot of Victorian influence, which is one of my favorite art styles. And this is freeze frame. Pretty sure freeze frame is what do you call it? Gosh, I'm having a brain fart, guys. A franchise. Pretty sure freeze frame is a franchise. I haven't seen one anywhere else. But freeze frame is good. Frozen yogurt. Give your dog some biscuits. And this is going to be coming to the end of the Uptown portion. Didn't get the entirety of Uptown. I got most of it in the video. The rest of it is kind of just really big buildings that I want to do in a separate video, as well as kind of walk the historic district. This is kind of just the commercial recreational area. The only residential area we're going to walk through is going to be through these new apartment complex buildings. But here we are starting off at the intersection of 14th Street and Broadway. The building that I had zoomed in on, that was the TSYS headquarters, which is a huge employer to the city. And right over there where you see that bus that I'm zooming in at, that is going to be Country's Barbecue, which is a huge restaurant here in the city. I know people that go there almost every day. It's insane. It's just one of those restaurants. But as I said, TSYS is a huge employer here in Columbus. That was, as I said, the headquarters. This building to your right that you see right here is going to be the parking garage that people use to go park in there, to go to work and things like that. I'm sure it'll also be used by the people over here, this new development that they're going to be having on the left with Synovus and everything like that as well. So I believe you can just park in there without, there's not like a requirement or a tag or anything like that you have to get before you go park in there. But it is a huge parking garage, so people do whip in and out of there all the time, which is why it says to watch for vehicles on that yellow sign back there. And we're actually going to be taking this 14th Street pedestrian bridge and walking across it over into Phoenix City first, before we walk down and check out this new riverfront development that Synovus has for us. And right here in front of us is the start of a great journey, because Grandma and Grandpa that you just saw right there, they walked with me for probably about 30 minutes or so, or maybe a little bit longer than that. We ended up walking together and talking back and forth. So for the sake of the video, I will call them Grandma and Grandpa. So I do stop and talk to them a couple times, which is why I am doing a voiceover of this video instead of doing it in person. The other also reason is because I kind of find it a little bit awkward to walk around and just kind of talking everything, especially if you are consistently talking about everything around you. I feel like people kind of give you, the wide eye and things like that. So tried to avoid that, and I felt like I could get more information in there if I did it this way. But I just talked to Grandpa right there, and we were just talking about what they are doing down here to the Riverwalk. So this is them rebuilding the underpass for the Riverwalk, and it's going to extend it a little bit, so they're redoing it. Should be done by some point later this year. They seem to be moving pretty fast. I came back later that day, and they already had a whole bunch of the framework and stuff in the ground, so seem to be moving pretty fast. But this again is the 14th Street pedestrian bridge. Was built back in 2016, I believe, and super beautiful, super big. I love the design that they have with the roof and the brick, and also this kind of like walkway. It kind of looks like very flowy. And this is just a look at the Chattahoochee River. The water is extremely low whenever I was recording this video. You'll actually see the area where you can see how high the water is, but it is only 2 feet. Usually stays around 4 or 5, so about double this is what it usually is. So a lot of those rocks and vegetation would be covered up on a regular basis. And right here is a commemoration and remembrance of some things that have happened in Columbus. This one is for Coca-Cola and RC Cola, two iconic things that have came out of Columbus in history in the past. Dr. Pemberton was the man that created Coca-Cola, and the recipe was made here in Columbus, Georgia, after he got injured by a saber in the Civil War. And he actually used cocaine in the Coca-Cola, as I'm sure you guys all know, and the reason why he used it is because of the injury that he got. And I believe he got the injury in Columbus during the last battle of the Civil War. So there is a lot of history here. I want to do a separate video talking about kind of everything going on with the city of Columbus, and make it a streamlined video so it's easy to follow and understand. And here is another little fact about Columbus, about the Olympic golds. The year the Olympics came to Golden Park in Columbus, and actually Golden Park is getting rebuilt right now by Synovus. They're building a huge baseball stadium, spending around $50 million on it. We're going to get a minor league baseball team that is affiliated with the Atlanta Braves. They're coming from Mississippi. They should be coming over and getting into that field and getting integrated with everything. Maybe, hopefully, 2025, early 2026 is when we expect it. There's a little back shot that I'm looking at. That is the new Synovus building over there. I believe it is 14 stories tall. And you also saw all of those apartment complexes, and we'll get into that once we walk down that road over there. And here is the other sign. Denim blue. You can probably take a pause and read it like there if you want to, but it just represents as you can see, the textile industry and things like that. Commemoration for it. As I said earlier, the textile industry had a huge role here in Columbus, Georgia, and was really what kind of set this city into motion to be what it is today. It is a very large city, 216,000 people or something like that live here. So no slouch in numbers for sure. One of the largest cities in Georgia. And I think, Grandma's right here. She's talking to me again. I believe we're talking about the river right here. She's talking about how you can go in and stand down there on an island down there and go take a closer look. Which I do. I do go stand down there later on in the video. And this right over here is going into Phoenix City. So we were just in Columbus. And this right here is Phoenix City. The Riverwalk extends over into Phoenix City actually. Not as prevalent or heavily used as the one in Columbus, but it is there. And now we're almost done looking at this part of the 14th Street Bridge and looking back over the Chattahoochee River towards the next area that we're going to look at, which is where that big Synovus building is with all those apartments. So we'll take a look over there in just a minute. But you can see the river level is super low. You do see some rapids. The bridge looks nice. It doesn't look too damaged or anything. Doesn't look all gunked up. And here we are over to the next part. So on the right, you'll see in a second, I'll look over to it, the Indigo Hotel. It's going to be a luxury or high-end hotel here in Columbus, part of this riverfront area that Synovus has been building up. So Synovus has around $250 million into the city right now, mainly in this part of Columbus, which is crazy insane, but it's not too crazy to think about because the Synovus Bank was actually founded by people that came from Columbus, Georgia. So by W.C. Bradley and G. Gunby Jordan together actually founded the Synovus Bank here in Columbus. So that is another huge company founded here in Columbus, and that is, I'm sure, the reason why they're putting a lot more money into this city as of right now. But this is their riverfront development. As I said, they got about $250 million into it. They have a bunch of apartment complexes that we'll get into, and then on the left down there on the other side of the street, you will see a bunch of places that say leasing available. So there's going to be a whole bunch of commercial buildings and shops that are going to be opening up on the street level down here. As you can see, a bunch of them, and also a separate Synovus bank that is there as well. There's also some Tesla charging stations or electric car charging stations in the area too for people that have electric vehicles. But as you can see, they have a bunch of little shops. Like they're going for a play, live, and work type of lifestyle. So, you live in the apartments, you work at Synovus or one of these little shops, and then you can go, run on the Riverwalk, play, or go drinking if you play that way too. But that's kind of what they're going for. They have a bunch of rooftop gardens that you just saw right there with some shrubbery sitting up on top that people are able to go to. These facilities with these apartments have a whole bunch of amenities, workout complexes, things like that. There's restaurants sitting inside of them too. And this is the Current, and the one sitting behind me is the Rapids apartment complex. Around 200 and something units, I believe. So a bunch of people living and moving into the area. I cannot wait until we have like a pretty high capacity in these buildings and all these little shops open up down here. I'm really looking forward to taking a walk down here and looking at exactly what will be going on. I think Columbus, at least this portion of it, and I think this will end up extending to other parts of Columbus if this is successful, which I think it will be, just based off of what it looks like and the potential that it does have. Just have to get the right shops in there and get that capacity up. So if you know anybody that wants to live in an apartment complex over here or wants to open up a business, please tell them to do so, because I am waiting. Columbus needs other things to do. Uptown portion of the area is good, but I've been there a million times, so I'm always rooting for something else to come to the city or develop in the city, so there can be a lot more things to do. And this right here, this is actually the 13th Street Bridge, but this is the Eagle and Phoenix City Mills. So the man I said earlier, G. Gunby Jordan, he was actually the president of the Eagle and Phoenix City Mills, which was a major employer and hub back in the day whenever Columbus was first founded. So he's a huge figure in the city, huge part of history. Now it is an apartment complex. It's been repurposed. And this is going to be on the back side of the area that we just walked through. So we walked through the Riverfront Park area, and right here is going to be right behind the Indigo Hotel. And they have a bunch of artwork sitting here on this wall that we'll see in a minute. I'll kind of fly by them so you can kind of see what they all look like. And you can go down there. They say you need to wear a life jacket. I didn't go down there. I do go down at a different part, but it just looked a little bit too wooded for me. And I also didn't have a life jacket. But you can see they display a whole bunch of the artwork on the wall. They have QR codes that you can use to visit it online too. But lots of different art pieces, lots of different art studios and art galleries in the city as well. A bunch of museums in Columbus too. As I said, lots of history. Lots and lots of history. And here we're walking down the Riverwalk, so this is kind of, I guess you could call it the beginning of the Riverwalk. And that's the 14th Street pedestrian bridge that we walked across earlier. And that's where we were standing at earlier, looking across. And so this is going to be behind the Rapids Apartments complex. So if you live right up there and you have a riverside apartment, be able to see the river. It's also really nice that they have like this, the Riverwalk right here, so you can just kind of come down from your apartment and chill out in the morning or during the afternoon, and seems pretty nice, pretty chill. But to add to some history of the Riverwalk, so W.C. Bradley actually funded the construction of the Chattahoochee Riverwalk, and they actually bought, W.C. Bradley Company actually bought the Eagle and Phoenix Dam back in 2003, and they had this vision to make a whitewater rafting course based off of other successes around the country. So they bought it in 2003, and I believe construction started maybe around 2009 or so. But they blew up the dam, and they added this huge wave shaper underneath the water. And a wave shaper kind of looks like a giant airplane with a whole bunch of moving vanes inside of it, and it shapes waves. And they used that along with the North Highlands Dam, that is the dam that we currently use right now whenever it releases water, to create this whitewater rafting course, which is one of the best and biggest in the entire world. We have had World Cups, World Series, World Championships of kayaking in this river right here. The World Championship, I believe, was last year in 2023. We see about 45,000 people come here every year on average, just for the whitewater rafting. And that data is back around 2021. Don't have current as of 2024. And those are just some, I'm not really too sure what those are, but those are some contraptions, maybe something to do with a train. And also the Chattahoochee River actually feeds Lake Oliver, which is up by the Green Island Hills area. And this is the backside of the Eagle and Phoenix Mills. So you can see the water level is super low. Really rocky. That's why it's also super dangerous whitewater rafting in this water, because there are rocks absolutely everywhere. So, if you go under, you could hit your head on something and that really be it. So that's really why I don't go down it. It is one of the most dangerous whitewater rafting courses in the world too. They have like levels 2 through 5, I think, and our whitewater rafting course has levels 2 through 5. You're also able to use different size rafts and things like that to be able to make the course harder. But whitewater rafting is a no for me. Maybe kayaking, because I have a little bit more control over what's going on. As you can see, Grandpa and Grandma are still keeping up with me. They have been walking. I talked to them. They say they walk. I think they said they walk 2 miles every day. 2 or 3 miles every day. Keep them in good health. Keep them in shape. And this is a poem. A lot of this stuff was done in 2016 that you're seeing. That was a really big year for the revitalization of the city. And you can see up there on the very top of the wall, you can see the poem written again. all the way across. So a nice little touch right there, attention to detail. I don't know if everybody catches things like that, but I think that I have a good eye for detail. And this is again the back of the Eagle and Phoenix Mills. I hate living next to Phoenix City, or that it's called that, or that these mills are called that, because I get them mixed up all the time. And here is the area where they measure the height of the water in the Chattahoochee. You'll be able to see it better over in the next area that I go to that's a little bit farther down. But you can see kind of just a little reservoir of water, not moving around too much, kind of standing still. Super industrial, super cool little area. Definitely like take pictures and things like that. Have lots of places like that down in the uptown portion of the city. And then I get a little risky and walk across this little part right here. Take a little bit of a closer look and a bigger view. I'm gonna turn back around. And the person that built the first dam for Columbus, Georgia, was actually the Woodruff family, which is a huge name here. They owned a bunch of land, specifically in the northern part of Columbus, but they did build the first dam that really facilitated and helped with navigation on the Chattahoochee River, as well as production with the mills and things like that. And I think here's Grandma coming to talk to me again. She's got to say something. Yeah, I think she's pointing over to where the rock's at over there, I think. And then she was pointing down here too. But right down there is where you see the water level at, where you saw that ruler. About 2 feet. It can get up to all the way up to 8 feet is the highest that I've seen it. And then we're going to take a quick little walk across this little bridge right here, and we're going to be able to take a really close look at the Chattahoochee River. Oh, Grandma's taking me back over here. I forgot she came back. Yeah, that's the ruler I was talking about. So right here is where she was trying to tell me about the water level down there. So sitting around 2 feet. And now we'll take a walk across this bridge over here. And we'll get to take a good look at exactly what's going on. This is also where you will drop in for kayaking too. So moving on along, moseying on along. See a kayak right there, and then a whole bunch of tubes, some kayaks right here. Or some, what is that? That's not a kayak, that's one of them boards you stand up on, right? Oh yeah, here's I think she's telling me about the I forget what she told me right here. I think she was explaining to me about the kayaks or the river right here. I know she said that the kayaking was a lot less dangerous than the whitewater rafting. I know she told that to me. But you do drop in right here for kayaking. So we'll take a look at the water that you kind of drop in at. Take a look at it. Then I'm about to walk back over here. And take a walk on the rocks. Get a closer look. But super beautiful little area. Again, to take pictures and things like that over here, definitely be a good idea. See a little crane right there looking for some food maybe. Looking for some fish in the more still water or turbulent water sitting right there. So a little bit of wildlife. Nothing too crazy though. And here we'll go take a closer look at the water over here. We've all seen water before, but haven't seen no rapids like this. We probably have, but they look a lot cooler when the water's higher. But super fast moving water. Everybody knows or should know how dangerous water is and how powerful it is. It only takes a couple of inches of fast moving water to really take you off your feet. Super pretty. Again, like if you can go stand on one of those rocks, take some pictures. The dam up there, the North Highland Dam, I believe is what it's called. They do have a huge siren or an alarm that goes off whenever they're releasing the dam. So whenever that does go off, I would make sure to kind of, get out of the area. If it has there'll be signs and things that say flood zones whenever the dam releases. But if you hear the sirens and you see the signs, make sure you get out of the area. I actually had a very bad experience whenever I was a child, around 11 years old or so. I was playing on the rocks and the siren went off and I did not listen, and it was almost too late. I was trying to get across. There was a couple of inches of water, maybe 6 inches of water that was going across, but it was going so fast it swept me off of my feet, and my leg actually ended up getting stuck in between two rocks, and I was underwater, and I could not get it to come out. Thank God I was able to get it out after a lot of effort, and I ended up climbing out of the water onto the bank before going out into the deeper water, where I would assume I would be pretty much helpless. So be very careful in this water. Respect this water. Respect the Wawa. We're going to continue our walk down the Riverwalk. You can fish off of the Riverwalk too. And that's Phoenix City over there. That building that you see way over there, the kind of reddish building, is actually going to be the Blue Apron ziplining course. It goes both ways, one to Phoenix City and the other back. And then this is a giant mural, I believe it's over 10,000 square feet, made by Columbus State University students and instructors. You can see all kinds of different animals and flowers. Super beautiful and definitely adds to the culture of the city. Got a snake, a frog, person fishing. And this is pretty early in the morning, so there's not a lot of people out right now. I mean, there's a good bit. From time to time you'll see somebody, but not too many, so not an overly crowded area by any means. But as you can see, this mural is absolutely massive. They got the Columbus, Georgia sitting in the middle of it right there. And this is where the water starts to calm down and gets a lot wider and a lot deeper. So probably more popular fishing down this way. See a guy fishing down there. There's a guy fishing on the other side too. And that building with the green roof over there is going to be the courthouse over in Phoenix City. And we're right under the zipline course right now. And we'll take a little bit of a closer look at it here in a minute. But we're going to take a walk up here and take a look at this area up here. Lots of little places up here and things to do, especially for children. Got a splash pad. As you can see, really nice, well kept. Pretty much this whole time, haven't seen maybe a little piece of trash here and there. I think we just saw one in the walkway, but for the most part, no trash, well kept, good landscaping. Everything looks good. I definitely could not say that about this place a couple years ago. But now, since they've started fixing it up and doing a lot more things, definitely. And that's the Phoenix City Amphitheater over there. That is what I just zoomed in at. We'll probably get a better picture of it here in a minute. Got some restrooms, public restrooms out here for your convenience, instead of peeing in the woods. And there's a giant cow up there, and we'll get a better picture of that in a second, and I'll talk about that. You see that zipline course is pretty high up from where it starts at, over to the right there. Then we'll just keep walking up here. We'll take a right and start walking down this street over here to show you a little bit more. We'll go back onto the Riverwalk in just a second. I just walked up here first so I wasn't backtracking too much. Try to give a little bit of continuity inside of the video as well. So if you kind of try to make it as seamless as possible, so you can get an understanding of exactly where you're at, where everything's happening. And this is just kind of like the inner workings of the water and how everything works here in the city. Presented to you by Columbus Waterworks. But yeah, see, like lots of pipes, lots of things, lots of investment into the city. It just said $100 million into the infrastructure here. So the Chattahoochee River and this whole area has a lot of money into it. And as I said, the whitewater rafting situation, that was a huge decision by the city and probably one of the best decisions from the city to kind of provide tourism to the area and try to put the city onto the map a little bit more whenever it comes to outsiders and people outside of the state coming to visit. And right over here is, we will see the bank's food hall, as well as the place where you go to rent bikes at, as well as the whitewater rafting store. And we'll also take a look at one of the city's monuments that's been here for a very long time. It's going to be that cow up there. But we're going to look at this little statue right here, or a little sculpture, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a sculpture. But it's just looks like a pile of acorns or something. Pile of acorns. Not really too sure. Has like all these little things poking out of it. Got a stack of nuts. A big old stack of nuts. And then we come over here to look at Katie the cow. So Katie the cow used to be over off of Manchester Expressway. There used to be a big dairy plant over there. And then after the dairy plant moved, the Best Buy moved in there. And now Best Buy moved out of there. And whenever Best Buy moved out of there, they moved Katie from there down here. And currently there is a Crunch Fitness workout center that has replaced the Best Buy's location. But it is a monument of the city, a historic piece of the city. Katie the cow, an absolute legend. Definitely the mascot of Columbus, I would say. We don't really have anything else quite like it. Then up here we start walking down more this road. But you can see the Bradley Co., W.C. Bradley Co. So W.C. Bradley, if you remember me talking about him earlier, whenever he created like the Synovus, they do a whole bunch of historic revitalization and reconstruction here in the city, if I can get my words together. But you'll see his name and things like that all over the city and on the buildings, of course. That is Banks Food Hall. And the squirrels, as you can imagine, in this part of the city are very friendly and not too skittish whatsoever. But we've got a good little park right here with the green on green everywhere. And this is going to be the splash pad. We'll walk through it and go over to the other side over there. here's just another piece of history, little marker about the Millennium Clock. This is me walking over the splash pad, so usually you'll see a lot of children and things like that playing during the day, mainly during the summer, during school. During the school season, they are not out here, obviously, but during the summer, always packed. They're open all day, so you can have fun all day. And this is a little map of like the entire trail of the Riverwalk. Not the Riverwalk, but the Dragonfly Trail. Which it does have a portion of the Riverwalk in it. And this is kind of on the back side of that other ramp that we could have walked up. And right here is the zip lining. This is the return, I believe, from Phoenix City back over here. Again, the green building is the Phoenix City Courthouse. And we're taking a look over here in this super beautiful area right here. I love this area. Definitely a good place to come take pictures at. Very well maintained. One of the better picturesque areas. Columbus State University. Right there, as I said, they've had a huge influence in this Uptown and Riverwalk area of the city. We could not be anywhere near where we are without Columbus State University. Like, they have a really pivotal role inside of this city. Greatly appreciated. And here we go over some more things. So most of this is going to be like a dancer singer from the Woodruff family. As I said, the Woodruff family is a huge family here in Columbus. Huge family. We have a couple of huge families, but they are one of them. We're going to go over a couple of statues right here, and then there's also going to be some memorials for veterans here in the city as well. It's going to be these over here, and I'll zoom in on a couple of them. Not too sure, forget if I got all of them, but I know that I zoomed in on some of them, so if you choose to read exactly what their story is and what's going on, you're more than free to pause the video and do so. This is just a quick little glance up here. Beautiful shot. Definitely one of my favorite areas right here for sure. I'm gonna take a look at these other ones, and then we'll walk a little bit farther down, and then we'll go back down to the Riverwalk. bridge along with, I believe there's another bridge. The 13th Street, I don't believe the 13th Street Bridge, but I know this bridge up here was constructed by a man named Horace. He was actually a former slave and became an architect and built 2 bridges connecting Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia together. So he's a really pivotal role in the success of the city from building those bridges, and also an incredible story. Very inspirational. You can do anything that you set your mind to. If this man could, come out of the situation that he was in and still able to accomplish building 2 really big bridges in a time where construction of things like that were really no small feat whatsoever and really impressive. So definitely another really pivotal, historical, and important figure here in Columbus. He does have a couple of commemoration spots around the bridges that he built, like a little placard. And so that's over where the splash pad's at, and we're gonna take just a quick little walk over here, and then we'll transition down to the Riverwalk. So right here that's the bridge that we were actually just looking at up there. So we're going to take a walk under it and take a look what's over here. But this Riverwalk goes around 22 miles along the Chattahoochee River. So very, very long. I have not went the whole thing before. I went about 10 miles on a bike, and that is all I could do. And that was a long time ago when I was in high school. And we'll take a look at this statue over here. Discovery, persuasion, vision. We'll take a look at this placard right here. You can pause it if you so choose to. Just talking about Christopher Columbus. I'm sure we all know the story by now. And then the last one is chains. So there is a lot of history in Columbus. Not all of it is the brightest, but it is there. And we'll take a quick walk down here and take a look at a unique little building structure over here. But we're almost to the end of this video. I know it's a very long video, but anybody that's looking to move into the area, this should give you a really good grasp on exactly what it looks like in Columbus, Georgia, as well as a little bit of the history and places to go and eat at and things like that. I always love these arches. That's why I like to video them. I don't know what it is about them. I love architecture and design and things like that. In Columbus, at least this uptown portion of it has a lot of it. walk just down here. I'm not going to go too much farther. And you can see we have a lot of active trains in the city. I believe this train comes by almost every single day. See a better look at it going over the Chattahoochee River in just a minute. I'll go take a video of it. And this is going to be the Trade Center that we're going to go take a walk under real quick after we look at these placards. As again, you can pause it if you would like to read them. So we get to walk right under these buildings with these big pillars. And architecture. As you can see, that train is incredibly long. I think the longest, I usually count train cars. I didn't get to count these ones, obviously, because I didn't want to sit there and do it for the whole video. But I usually do count train cars, and the highest number I've ever gotten is 142. So if you guys have counted train cars before and have gotten more than that, let me know what's the most train cars you've seen on a train before. Mine is going to be 142, at least the ones that I've counted. I may have seen one longer, but just didn't know it. But right now, the record for me, 142. And here we'll see the train in a picturesque kind of moment going over the Chattahoochee River. And then we'll take a quick little walk down here. But this is pretty much it for the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more, hit that notification bell if you'd like to see future uploads and don't want to miss it. Anyways, guys, I really do appreciate you guys watching this video. If you did, stay until the end. I think we might get a little bit of an extra picture at this train going across, and then that will be it for the video. I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. If you guys want any other videos or things for me to cover in Columbus, please let me know in the comment section below. I am a real estate agent, so if you would like to book a meeting with me or have a discussion, I have a Calendar link in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Anyways, have a nice day. Peace out.